Welcome, guys. I'm Tony Perkins, President of Family Research Council, and with me, General Jerry Boykin, Executive Vice President of Family Research Council. We're here for Stand Courageous. And, one of the issues that I think men often wrestle with is we're great, we're in the midst of the battle and things are going and you don't really have time to process and think, but in those quiet moments, kind of like Moses, backside of the desert, in the wilderness, and things are quiet and they're not happening, and you're not really hearing from God, and you're not really getting direction. And sometimes those can be dark times. They can be challenging times. And oftentimes it comes right on the heels of a great breakthrough, victory. But then, kind of like Elijah, there's this moment of discouragement.
Yeah, it's like Joshua, when they went in and destroyed Jericho and then went to the Battle of Ai. And remember, they lost.
Yeah.
They lost because they had sin in the camp. But what did he do? He laid down on the ground and said, God, why did you even bring us out of Egypt?
Right. He
began to doubt. This is a thing that happens to all of us at one time or another, and I have certainly experienced it. And I've been through many ups and downs. I've been through many trials, many battles. And on the one hand, I can stand up today and give you a testimony about how God has been there, how God has literally saved my life.
But that's easy when it's already done.
That's
and
right.
It's postscript. You're looking back and you say,
right.
Well, God led me through that, and everybody, they know you're here and you
right.
succeeded, and that's easy to grasp. That's like the stories in the Bible. But in the middle of that, in between the beginning of the sentence and the end of the sentence, sometimes that's long, it's dark, it's discouraging, and as you said, the doubts come in. How do you deal with that?
Well, first of all, you've got to know the Word, because you come to a point where your feelings are going to let you down, your emotions are going to fail you. But knowing the Word of God, knowing the promises that are contained in the Word of God, is when you go from acting with your heart to acting with your head because of what you know, not what you feel. Today in our society, it's no longer about truth, it's about your feelings. Well, that's not the way it works in God's kingdom. And as men, we're going to have emotional moments of sadness and joy and everything in between. But we have to know the Word of God so that when we are in those tough fights where we feel that God is just not hearing us or God is not responding to our prayers, that we know what the Word of God says, what those promises are, because we've read it and reread it and we've studied it and we've pondered it. And that means we've got to have an active Bible reading program that strengthens our minds as well as our hearts.
Yeah, you have to abide, as Jesus said, abide in me. And that's, you're drawing life from it even when you don't know it, you don't realize it. And so it's critical at those times when we're not actively hearing from God, at least we don't sense that we are, just have to abide in Him. We have to pray and go on, just as you get your last orders, and all of a sudden the chain of communication is broken.
Right.
You operate on what you heard last until you get further direction.
Right.
So you just hang on to what God has told you, believe it, hold on to it, and keep doing it.
It's a good point, because in the military we call it commander's intent. In other words, you have to know what your commander, as he issues you those orders, what is his ultimate objective? What's his intent? Because when the first 6 to 9 round burst is fired, your plan is probably going to suffer significantly. But as long as you understand the commander's intent, you follow through to achieve that objective. God has an intent for us, and it's contained in the Word. And that's why we've got to keep going back, studying the Word, pondering it, and tucking it away in our hearts.
It all goes back to that. It goes back to the Word. Well, until next time, guys, stand courageous.